So when I created my first YouTube video, I got a question from one of my subscribers, and his question was, I am currently in the express entry pool with lower points. What are my chances of getting a job offer from a Canadian employer to boost up my points and being invited to apply eventually? Thank you in advance. Well, that came from Gillian. Thank you, Gillian, for the question. So let's dive into it. I think the natural question here is, what is express entry, or what is he talking about? So express entry is also called the Federal Skilled Worker Program. So there's a program run by the government or IRCC to try to bring in more skilled workers from outside Canada. It's basically a points-based system where you get points based on a number of factors. Okay, so first you get points based on your age. You also get points based on your level of education, and you get points based on your language proficiency in either English or French, as those are the two main languages spoken here in Canada. And you also get points based on your work experience outside of Canada. Okay, now for your level of education, you would need to have your qualifications evaluated by organizations that are recognized by the government, such as World Education Services, WES, or other organizations that are recognized by the government. They have a list. And then for language proficiency tests, you take for English, you could take the IELTS, the CELPIP, or the PTE. Okay, and then for French, you can take the TCF or the TEF proficiency test. Okay, so if you have those two things in place, you have your test results, and then you have your qualifications evaluated, and then you have more than 3 years of work experience from outside Canada, so in your home country such as Ghana or wherever you are, then you can go ahead and create an express entry profile. Now, when you create an express entry profile, you are put in what they call the express entry pool. So the pool has profiles of people from all over the world. Okay, and once in a while, it used to be every 2 weeks, but now it's a bit inconsistent. But once in a while, the government comes in there, they conduct a draw, and then pick people from the pool. Okay, now the cutoff score for each draw is determined by the number of people in the pool at the time, struck against the number of people that the government intends to pick. All right, so if the government intends to pick, let's say 2,000 people, and there are 7,000 people in the pool, it's going to pick the top 2,000. Those are the highest scores. It's going to pick from the top all the way down, and when it gets to 2,000, that's the cutoff score for that particular draw. Okay, so I hope you get it. Now, when we look at this question, it means that he's already in the pool, and his points are a bit low. And again, for points, I always advise those that are interested in the express entry route to say that if you're interested, try to get as close to the 500 points score as you can. Okay, so anything from 450 and above, you might stand a chance of being drawn out of the pool, because it's pretty competitive in there. Okay, anyway, so he's already in the pool, but he has lower points, and he's asking, what are my chances of getting a job offer from a Canadian employer to boost up my points? Well, so that's another way to boost up your points. That is getting a job offer from a Canadian employer. Okay, now the question is, what are my chances? Now, I would say 50-50. Okay, here on this channel, I like to stick to the facts. I like to stick to facts that I've gathered from research and what I know and what the government websites or what the government agencies say. Okay, I don't like to use hearsay. So here's what I know and here's what I've seen. Now, for those that have come in here and were able to get job offers from their home country, for me personally, I only know one person. Okay, so I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm going to say it's a little bit difficult. Okay, I know one person that came from Tunisia, and while he was in Tunisia, he got a job offer. The company sent him everything. He applied for a work permit and came here on that work permit. Okay, so I know it's possible. Okay, now The thing that you must also keep in mind is that it is not an easy process even for the employers. So most of them are not willing to go that far, okay, because they need to prove that they were not able to get equivalent talent in or comparable talent here in Canada, and that's why they're bringing someone from outside. They will need to prove that, by showing that they advertised for the job and the people that applied were not too qualified. And if they were not too qualified, they need to show sample resumes of the people that were not too qualified, So it's a pretty long process for the employers. So based on that, I would say it's 50-50. I mean, you could get a job offer from a Canadian employer that would help boost your points in the express entry pool. But yeah, it's not easy and it can be a little bit daunting. So I think that answers the question, the first part of his question. And then the other part is saying, boost up my points and being invited to apply eventually. So when you're in the express entry pool and you're drawn out, you receive something called an ITA. An ITA is an invitation to apply. So when you're drawn out, the government gives you an invitation to apply. There are documents that invite you to apply for permanent residence here in Canada. So when you're drawn out, you don't apply for work permit, you don't apply for visits, you don't apply for student permits, you just apply straight for permanent residence. So that makes things a little better for you when you arrive here eventually. Okay, so that will answer the question. But what my subscriber was looking to do was to boost up his points. So are there any other options for him to boost his points? Yes, there are. So let's discuss a few of them. So first of all, like I said, you get points based on your age, you get points based on your level of education and language proficiency and work experience. Okay, so if for age, you really can't do anything about that. Okay, but for language, let me start from education. For education, the higher you go, the better. Okay, so for someone with a diploma, if they apply for express entry, they will get some number of points for the diploma, and if they got a degree, they would get more points. Or if someone has a degree, they would get more points than the one with a diploma. If someone has a master's, they'll get more points than someone with a degree. And someone with a PhD will get more points than someone with a master's. So that's how it works, right? The higher you go, the better. And if you have more than 2 qualifications, let's say you have a diploma and a degree, you would get more points than someone who has just a diploma or someone who has just a degree. So that's how it works. The higher you go, the better. So if you can increase your level of education, please do that. That would also help boost your points. Also, for language proficiency, you can try to boost your points there by taking a second proficiency test. So let's say you wrote just the IELTS, and that's English, right? But you're comfortable with French, or you can study and write the French test as well. I would encourage you to do it because that would give you extra points for the express entry as well. So those are the 2 main ways. Oh, and last one, I almost forgot this one. If you have a family member here in Canada and they're willing to give you their details so you add it to your profile, then I would say go for it, because when you do that, it gives you 15 extra points in the express entry pool. So those are some of the ways that you can boost your points when you're in the express entry pool. Now, let me say this. For age, this is how the express entry system works. So let's say, for example, you create your profile this year and you're about 30 years old. You get about 105 points for age, all right? And this is 2024. Now, in 2025, when you are a year older, you will lose 5 points, okay? So it's better for you to start now if you're interested in the express entry pool, because every year that you grow older, you keep losing 5 points, okay? Because you're trying to bring in skilled workers, young, fit, and stuff like that. Anyway, I hope I have answered this question, and I hope I provided useful information. If you would like us to dive deeper into the express entry and look at some of the the way it's being run these days, I mean, we can do that as well. If you also have any other questions that you'd like me to address, please put them in the comment section, and I'll be happy to do that. Okay. See you all in the next one. Bye.